Female demons and dark feminine spirits appear across mythology, far more often than most people realize. They rule deserts, crossroads, oceans, dreams, caves, forests, death, seduction, storms, in the spaces where humans felt least in control. In Mesopotamian tradition, Lilitu and Ardat Lily moved through the night as wind spirits connected to untamed feminine power and liminal spaces. Greek mythology carried Lamia, transformed into a feared night figure whose story later became tangled with grief and vengeance. Empusa walked roads and appeared as a shape-changing spirit associated with Hecate. Mormo became a figure used to frighten children and warn against wandering alone. In Japanese folklore, the Yuki-onna appeared in snowstorms. Beautiful and deadly, Honon arrived as a woman hiding a skeletal form beneath illusion. The Jorogumo took the shape of a woman while concealing the nature of a giant spider. Slavic folklore gave rise to Rusalk, spirits of rivers and drowned souls, and Kikimora, a household spirit who could either protect or disturb depending on how she was treated. In Hindu traditions, Churel became associated in folklore with spirits returning after injustice or unresolved death. Jewish folklore developed stories around Lilith, who later became one of the most recognized female figures connected to independence, exile, and night. Aztec mythology carried Cihuatl, spirits of women who died in childbirth and were believed to move through the world with enormous spiritual power. Irish traditions spoke of the Bean Knight, washing the clothes of those approaching death. These figures survived for centuries, not hidden in caves waiting for heroes. They moved through houses, rivers, roads, dreams, night. Ancient people gave names to the forces they could not control. Many of those names belonged to women.
Softly blue.
betrayal here, a funeral there, a thousand tiny deaths hidden between heartbeats. The thread cuts my fingers, the blood stains the gold. Because if I stop, the whole thing may come apart. People call me strong. God, how little they understand. Strength is not surviving the storm. Strength is waking each morning and gathering the pieces the storm left behind. Sometimes I hear my heart speaking, not in words and cracks, tiny sounds beneath my ribs, like porcelain settling in darkness. It tells me to carry this much sorrow. It tells me I should rest, yet I keep sewing, keep stitching, keep pretending. Inside my chest, expecting to find a heart, and discover only a lantern burning quietly where a soul used to be.
There are unlimited varieties of experience open to you after death. All possible, but some less probable than others, according to your development. Very generally now, there are three main areas, though exceptions and extraordinary cases can take other roads. may decide upon another reincarnation. You may decide to focus instead upon your past life, using it as the stuff of new experience, creating variations of events as you have known them, making corrections as you choose. Or you may enter another system of probability entirely. And this is quite apart from a reincarnational existence. You will be leaving all thoughts of continuity of time behind you in such a case. Now, some individuals, some personalities, prefer a life organization bound about past, present, and future in a seemingly logical structure. And these persons usually choose reincarnation. Others naively prefer to experience events in an extraordinary intuitive manner, with the organization being provided by the associative processes. These will choose a system of probabilities for their next main endeavor. Some simply find the physical system not to their liking, and in such a way take leave of it. This cannot be done, however, until the reincarnational cycle, once chosen, is completed. So the last choice exists for those who have developed their abilities through reincarnation as far as possible within that system. Some, finished with reincarnation, may choose to re-enter the cycle acting as teachers. And in such cases, some recognition of higher identity is always present.
There is an in-between stage of relative indecision, a mid-plane of existence, a rest area, comparatively speaking. And it is from this era that most communication from relatives occurs. This is usually the level that is visited by the living in projections from the dream state. The time of choosing, however, there is a period of self-examination, and your full history becomes available to you. You understand the nature of the entity, and you are advised by other portions of that entity more advanced in yourself. You will become aware of your other reincarnational selves. For example, there will be emotional ties with other personalities whom you have known in past lives, and some of these may supersede your relationships in the immediately past life. This is a meeting place for individuals from your own system also, however. All necessary explanations are given to those who are disoriented. Those who do not realize that they are dead are here told of their true condition. And all efforts are made to refresh the energies and spirits. It is a time of study and comprehension. It is from this area some first apt is led of dream to return to the physical environment. It is a place of commerce between systems, so to speak. Conditions and development are important, rather than the length an individual stays in this area. It is an intermediary step, but an important one. In your dreams, you have been here.
Not everyone wants freedom. One of the hardest lessons I've learned is that awakening can be lonely. People say they want truth, but often what they really want is comfort. They want information that supports the reality they've already built, not information that asks them to question it. The moment you begin thinking for yourself, you step outside the safety of the herd. And not everyone will celebrate that. Some people will be inspired by your courage. Others will be triggered by it. Not because you're wrong, but because your willingness to question things forces them to confront the things they have avoided questioning within themselves. The high priestess understands that truth is not always loud. It is not always popular. And it certainly does not require consensus. Truth has a way of dissolving illusions, and most people become attached to the stories that make them feel safe. Even when it's not true safety, we find safe in chaos because it's comfortable. This is why standing in your own knowing requires strength, not arrogance, not superiority. Strength. This is what I have tattooed at the back on my neck. The strength to remain open-minded while still honoring your intuition. The strength to continue learning without abandoning yourself. The strength to walk your path even when others don't understand it. I've learned that my responsibility is not to convince. It is not to argue. It is not to force anyone to see what I see. My responsibility is simply to live in alignment with what I know in my heart, to embody it, to become it. Because real truth doesn't need to be defended endlessly. It reveals itself through experience. The people meant to hear your message will hear it. The people meant to challenge it, it will challenge it. Both serve a purpose. So stop shrinking your voice to make others comfortable. Stop seeking permission to trust your own perception. And stop measuring your truth by how many people agree with it. The oracle does not ask the crowd for directions. She listens inwardly and follows what she knows.